Hey guys, I'm Grace Torie, and you're listening to That Girl, the podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in because the new episode is starting now. Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl Grace Torie, and I'm back with a whole new podcast video. I was debating whether or not I should even post this because I'm scared, but I posted it like something similar on my Instagram a couple years ago where I like explained this whole story. Or not my Instagram, my YouTube, and it was fine. So here's to putting my life on the line for content, LOLs. No. But as you can tell by the title, I don't know what I'm gonna title it yet, but you're gonna have some sort of spookiness. Yes, my family I did grow up in a super haunted house, and my family was cursed by a specific doll. I'll get into that. Nothing has really happened since junior year of college, and I've been out of undergrad for what, 2 years now, so if that gives you any like idea of how long it's been, but that makes me feel like it's okay to like talk about this. Honestly, nothing's happened since I last posted this, is when everything stopped. So let's hope, here's to hoping for the best, right? But before I do this, let's jump on into some quick life updates. I feel like everything and nothing has happened. It's Halloween right now. Happy Halloween. I hope that you're doing really, really well and you're staying safe and you're staying hydrated. If you're going out, you're being safe. I hope your costume is super awesome. I am still making our costumes right now. I'm gonna finish them as soon as I'm done with this. We went, Josh and I went and saw my mom because her birthday was on Wednesday. And the podcast is doing really well. I've had 2 things go viral, which is super exciting. Not like super viral, but kind of viral, which is really, really exciting. I love when I get to meet more of you and more of you find this community, because I just love you so much already and I want you to feel welcome. And when you do and you join, it's so exciting. But I think that's really it for life updates. I'm still working on getting the space together where I can actually podcast. We have the soundproof stuff I told you guys about. And then we have a mic, but I need to actually set it up. And I don't know how to do that, so I'm waiting for Josh to do it. And also, I have the bunnies in my office right now, and I need to clean it because the bunnies are in like little bunny jail. I put them in timeout because they're bonding and it's not going well, and it's this whole thing. So yeah, working on that. Work in progress. Oh, big announcement. I haven't mentioned this on the Instagram yet, but the podcast is now available on Amazon Music as well as iHeartRadio. And in addition to that, I did mention this on the Instagram, but we have a new email. So instead of using my email that I use for like my personal YouTube and all that, everything that you want to send me, in, you know, business inquiries, questions, anything like that, is going to go to thatgirlthepod@gmail.com. I'll put that into the description, and also if you go to my Instagram, like the podcast Instagram, there's a button that says email, and you can click that and it'll take you directly to it. So if you have anything you want to talk about, you have any podcast ideas, you have any questions, anything like that, it'll all go there. So it's super exciting. I think that's it in terms of updates. So let's go on and jump in. I don't even know where to start with this. I mean, I guess I can just start from the beginning. I feel like kind of like I just have like butterflies, like I'm nervy. So when I was like 6 years old, my family moved to Kentucky from Florida, and they bought a house that was still being built. So we were the first people to move into this neighborhood. They were planning on building it out into a neighborhood, but this was the only house that was being built at the time. And we got to pick like some stuff in it, and you know, but point of it is we were the first people to live there, right? And so in my head, I was like, cool, that means it's definitely not gonna be haunted. Because even as a kid, I was terrified of like ghosts, monsters, anything like that. So we move in, and the house was like all wood floors. It was pretty big. Therefore, you could hear literally everything. Any creak, anyone walking, you could hear it. Which made it kind of spooky. That and the fact that it was really, really open. There were a lot of windows. Just made it super spooky. But it always felt like someone was watching you. Like, always. And I was just like, whatever, you know. When you don't have like cold hard evidence, you try and pass it off. And when you're really, really little, you try and pass things off because you're little. Or like you're like, okay, mom, this happened. And they're like, yeah, no, that's not real. And you're like, cool, that's not real. And then you move on. So that's kind of how it started. Then as I got older, I'd say about like 10 was when I started seeing like more stuff. When we first moved in, my sister and I shared a room, and the one thing I remember from like that phase is my sister telling me one day that she looked under her bed and saw Satan. Very, very quirky, I know. And she saw like something under her bed. And I don't know why I remember that. I used to like get really freaked out because my mom would crack the door when we would go to bed, and my bed was closest to the door, and I would always think that I saw someone standing outside of it, but I thought it was just me. So when I got a little older, probably like 10, my sister was 11 or 12, she got her own room downstairs. And when she moved downstairs is when like I started noticing more things. I don't know if it was because like I just kind of passed things off as like, oh, my sister like is with me, or I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know, I was a little bit older, so it was when I first started noticing like real things. And I would definitely notice someone pacing out, because like it was my room and then there was a hallway, and in the hallway there was like, it was like a literal hallway, there was nothing on either side, and the only way out of the room is to go down the hallway, and at the end of the hallway there's a door, and other than that it's like weird. I don't know, it's like enclosed on all sides. So I would always see something like a tall, dark something pacing outside of my hallway, and it always would scare the crap out of me. So from a really young age, I would sleep like completely under the covers, like 110% under the covers. No thank you. And I would sleep with the lights on a lot. Like most of the time I would sleep with the lights on. So then we moved, well, okay, then we moved out of this house, and I like remember talking to my mom later, like probably like when I was like in college, and she said that when we both said that when we would look down the steps, because you like the steps, you would look down into the basement, we both would see like figures walking back and forth, like just dark shit walking back and forth. And I never said anything, she never said anything, but when we moved out, we talked about it. When we move out into a house that like my family built, we lived there for like 2 or 3 years. Someone else moves in because we're trying to rent the house out because we like couldn't find anyone to buy it. The market was like not doing too hot. So I think when I was in the like 11, so we lived there from when I was 6 to when I was like 11 or something like that. We moved into this house that my parents built, and we kept the house because it was like the market was not in a good spot, so we couldn't find anyone to buy it, and so we were renting it out to this family. Well, this family was notably like Native American, and I remember she had like Native American stuff everywhere, which will tie in later. And I don't know, like it was just like she got really sick as soon as she moved into that house, and we lived in the new house, whatever. So she was super sick, and because she was sick they had to move out, so we moved back in. And when we moved back in is when things got really bad. I think I mean we could still see figures walking, and my sophomore year of high school, we went to Key West. And this is when the like things get crazy. We're leaving the house one day, and 2 birds fly into the house. And if you know anything about birds, that means like something really bad is about to happen when 2 birds fly in. Or any bird gets stuck in your house, that's like bad vibes, you don't do that. And so my mom was like, yikes. And my Nana was with us, and my Nana's really superstitious, and she was like, you gotta get those out. So we got them out, and then we were still seeing the figures. I moved back into the same room, and I was still seeing the figure watching me while I sleep and all that. Well, then we go to Key West my sophomore year for a vacation, and while we're there we meet a certain doll, and I don't want to say his name because that's how terrified of him I am, but I'll give you some clues, and maybe I'll spell out his name. So Annabelle was inspired by this doll. That's how spooky they are. And their name is Robert, okay? Look that up at your own risk. So the thing about this specific doll is he was on display, and you're supposed to ask him to take a picture of him. And you have to be very respectful of him, treat him as if he's a person. Like, he's very, like, he's been known to kill people, hurt people, very bad stuff if you don't respect him. And my dad was like, LOL, no, like, that's not real. And just started taking pictures of him, taking pictures of my brother with him. And obviously my mom was terrified. She was like, what the frick are you doing? And I was terrified because I'm terrified of everything. And from that night on, I noticed a shift. Like, I thought it was just me being scared because we did a ghost tour and I couldn't sleep that night. I felt like something horrible was wrong, like something evil. And I'm not saying that that's, like, obviously I can't prove anything, but I will say that's the last family vacation we ever took together. Yeah. Wild. We get back home and I remember right after that, I was home alone. Like, that was spring break and I think it was like over the summer or something, like immediately after. I was home alone and I was showering and I had like all of my doors open because I was home alone and whatever. My mom was like up in Cincinnati with my brother and then my sister was in Florida. So I literally, no one was home. My dad was wherever he was at work or whatever. So I'm showering, I get out of the shower and I hear my dog under my bed. And like I said, we had wood floors. So you can hear, kind of like you can hear Luna walking right now, which if you can hear that, my bad. I always film during his dinner time and it just messes everything up. I can't wait to have a filming room. But anyway, I heard him scratching under the bed and he's a little Maltipoo, he's kind of crazy. So I just figured he was under there because he's under there quite a lot. Like, he was my dude, he was always with me. I say was, like he's not alive, like Harley's still kicking it, my dude, he's like 17, about to have a birthday in December, but I just heard him under there and I was like listening, well no, I didn't have music on because I could hear it. I was like getting dressed and I was talking to him because I was just like home alone. Like I was like, yeah Harley, what are we gonna do today? This was before I could drive, so I was like, you know, are we gonna watch a movie? Or let's go make some food, you know, whatever teenage girls talk about with their dogs. So like I mentioned, the only way out of my room, the only way in and out, and my bathroom, because they were connected, was through this hallway. So I get dressed and I go and stand in the doorway to leave and I'm like, hey Harley, come on. And I'm still hearing him scratching. I'm like, come on, let's go. Let's go in the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. And he comes running from the other room, like down the hallway from the other room, while there's still scratching going on under my bed. And it's like a rainy, stormy day. And I look under the bed, like I immediately look under the bed and there's nothing under there. Like the scratching is still happening, there's nothing under there. So I'm like, okay, odd. So I am like, I'm not doing this today. I walk across the house into the kitchen and what do you know? Every single cabinet in the kitchen is open. Like, the ones up high above the fridge, in the like above the microwave, like everywhere. And Harley and Sophie and me were the only ones home. Sophie's my Yorkie, Harley's my Maltipoo. They're not opening anything. They're tiny. I was in the shower. So I'm terrified and I go sit on my back porch until my mom gets home 3 hours later. Right, okay. So then shit just gets bad. Like, it gets wild. So I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything because I tried to block it from my memory. I forgot to mention, from the night that we saw this doll to literally my junior year, every single night when I would wake up, I would see him sitting at the end of my bed watching me sleep. I don't know if it was like my subconscious being scared or if that was actually like him, but it was terrifying. So that happened summer after my sophomore year, and then when I went into my junior year. October of my junior year, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. December of my junior year, my parents said they were getting a divorce. And then like the second semester of my junior year, so like January to spring, my dad ends up like losing a bunch of money. He literally went bankrupt, supposedly. There's tea there. And we get like foreclosed on our house. We have to move into a different house. And the whole time this is happening, I'm still seeing the doll There's still dark figures walking around downstairs. We could still hear creaking at night. I'm still seeing you know who every night when I'm asleep. Like, it's bad. Like, you can just tell that something evil is going on. So, we move into a new house. This is still going on. Things keep getting worse. We keep finding out more and more things about like my family. My mom's like on her deathbed, like wild. And you could just tell like this whole time that there was like a dark cloud. Like you could just, and that lasted until my junior year, right? And I was gonna say something else. Oh my God. Oh, so my sophomore year of college was when I was like, I'm tired of this. You know, because the house we moved into, this is like, okay, so the house we moved into, we had to move out because the radon level was like a 10 and it's supposed to be below a 4. I think that's what it was. There was some sort of thing. And they forgot to check it when we bought the house, or like they waived it, or I don't know. Something happened and it was like so high that they didn't know how we weren't literally dead. Yeah. And I think that's why I have mental health issues, but whatever. So I like am like getting serious about this because I'm like, I want this to stop. I want to stop seeing this every night. I want to stop having literal nightmares every night. Like, I want to stop seeing dark figures. I want, you know, I want my mom to feel better, like, you know, all the things. So I start doing research, and it turns out that I can't say with 100% certainty, but based on the historical records that I read, it seems that our house was built in a field that was once a Native American tribal territory. Like, I don't know if they lived there. I don't know if it was a battleground or what, but there were Native Americans in this space at one time. So I'm guessing that definitely had something to do with it when we built the house on there. And yeah, that's the big spook. I don't know, like junior year, it finally went away, and I'm so grateful for that, and I'm really scared that, you know, something else is gonna happen, but hopefully it doesn't. My mom did go into a remission. She went into a remission probably like 6 months after she was diagnosed, but she had lasting issues that, you know, are still an issue today, even though that was what, my sophomore year of college, my freshman year of college. So all that to say, don't mess with dolls. Do your research on houses you're moving into, and you gotta be really stern, you know? Just be like, don't mess with me, but be really nice about it. I know this episode is way shorter than my episodes typically are, but I thought that with Halloween and everything going on, it would be great to tell you like my personal story. And I feel like there's a lot more spooky things that I haven't even told you. I just cannot remember for the life of me. Any of them, I think I blocked them from my memory for a reason. So yeah, let me know your thoughts if you have any spooky stories of your own down below. I would love to hear them, and we can all be spooked together. If you do want to hear like a more in-depth story, I think I did like a 40-minute video where I talked about all this on my personal YouTube. Like I said, it was like my junior year of college, and it's called My House Tried to Kill Me, I think. So if you click the link in the show notes or on YouTube in the description, it'll take you to my personal YouTube, and then you can find it there. It was spooky. I think that that one tells everything. I didn't forget anything, and it goes way more in depth. So I hope you guys had a safe Halloween. I love you guys so, so much. So sorry about my dog's tippy taps throughout the entire video. He is on one. If you haven't joined the community, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and whatever platform you're listening on. It would mean the whole world to me. We are a community of girlies, all working to become our best version, or whatever version we want of that girl. All the spooky videos are over for the year. Since spooky season is over, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on Wednesday with a new video. Don't forget to rate and review and leave your Instagram, and then I will shout you out. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.